Okay, picking up on number 11. The graph of f of x is shown. Answer the questions and make a table of the inverse. Okay, so we are told that, okay, actually, let's go ahead and make the regular table. And then all I have to do is flip it to get this table. So what points do we know? I know that one. What else can I find? I got that one. And then I could also find, let me see what other points we have here. This one looks good. So let's go ahead and switch those. And I'll graph that. I don't even know if we're asked to graph it, but why not? Maybe it was just a way of knowing if I got it right. Okay, f of 2. So for the regular one, f of 2, I have to refer to the table that I made here. And for f of negative 2, I have to refer to my new table. That was pretty easy. 12. A table of values of f of x is given. Find a table, a graph, and an equation for the inverse. Assume that f of x is continuous. Oh, I thought that was a 0. I can't read my own handwriting. That is a 6. So the equation of that line, let's see, it has a slope of negative 1/2 and a y-intercept of 1. Oh. Match each function on the left with its inverse on the right. Assume that all functions are continuous. Okay. So this is like the matching activity that we did in the task. So let's see, I'm given some equations here, and I'm given some tables, and I'm given some graphs. Okay, let's do this. Just thinking about the best way to attack these. So I'm going to take this first one here, and there's certainly a number of ways to do these, so you might have done them a different way, and that is just fine. But I'm taking this first one, and I am finding some points that I know. And so I know those points, so I'm reversing this. Okay, do I have a table on here that might include those points? That's something that I might look for. So let's see, anything that includes 2, 0, 3, -1, and 1, 1. This is looking pretty good right here. Just to be sure, I might think about, okay, well this point right here is awfully close to 5, -1. So this table would have to include something like -1, 5. And sure enough, this one does right here. -0.82 is because this doesn't come all the way down. So this one is definitely C. So I'm going to just go right here, and say that these two connect, and I'll do each one in a different color. Okay, let's take, go ahead and do, let's just do A. Now, with A, thinking about the best way to attack A, I suppose that there's a few different ways that I could do it. I'm going to write an equation, actually. So, what's going to be challenging about writing this equation, and a good review over linear equations, is that this y-intercept is not very good looking. So I'm going to take this point 3, 0, and I'm going to take this point right here, which is -1, -1. I'm going to find the slope. Okay, now we also could have told that by just going like this, I suppose, but okay. So now I need to find the y-intercept. So remember, all the way back to AGS1, all you need to do is plug in one of the points. So I'm going to choose the point 3, 0, and y is equal to mx plus b. And I'm going to have 3/4, and I'm going to take away 3/4 from both sides to tell me that b is equal to -3/4. So my equation of the original is y is equal to 1/4 x minus 3/4. And now I'm going to find the inverse by switching x and y and solving for y. So I'm going to add 3/4 to both sides. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, which is going to give me this. So I'm going to hope that this equation is one of our options, and sure enough it is. So y is equal to 4x plus 3. I'll use another color, and that is going to match to this one. Okay, got another one down. Let's take a look at y equals x plus 1 over 4. And let's just find the inverse of that and hope it matches with one of the equations down here. So I'm going to switch x and y. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. I'm going to subtract 1. And did we get it? We did. It's that one. So I'll use orange. And those two match. Okay. I'm going to erase some of this work I have here on the side so we have room to do some other problems. So we're going to take the next one and see what we can get. Okay, so I'm kind of shortening my options here. There's only so many things that are left. So I'm going to check out this table here and hope that it is going to match with something. Although I now notice that I have two equations that might match up with one another. Let's see here. I'm going to do it that way. So I'm just going to find the inverse of one of these two leftovers and hope it matches with something. So let's take this one. So I'm going to switch x and y. And I'm going to multiply both sides by y plus 1. And then I'm going to divide both sides by x. And then I'm going to take away 1 and hope that this matches something. And it does. So these two go together, 10 and e. And that means that the last two, these two, must be inverses. So remember, if this is an inverse of this, when I plug in the y's, I should get the x's. So if I take 0 and I put it here, square root of 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. That worked. I put 4 here, the square root of 4 is 2, plus 2 is 4. So those two must be a match by process of elimination or by doing what I just did. So this got really jumbled, but if you want to make a note of it, this is the way that the letters would go in the column. So 6 is going to match with C. And 7 is going to match with D. And 8 will match with B. And 9 will match with A. And 10 with E. And that's it. We're done. So that's the end of the third video. Hope you found it helpful.